All right, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyo lahat mga kaguro. And of course, welcome back to Gurong Pinoy, isang maulan at makulog na gabi mula dito sa Iloilo. Sana po ay hindi masyadong malakas at sana po ay walang baha dyan po sa inyong lugar. No? Sana po we all keep safe despite the rainy weather that we are currently facing. Okay, so sana po walang brown out. Okay, so dire-diretso sana yung ating pagtalakay ng ating mga items tonight. But of course, I would like to remind all of you that we are currently preparing for the LEP of September 24th, 2023. Your online application starts by June 23rd. Then, of course, it would end on August 24th. Target release of your results would be December 7th. So, bago magpasko, LPTs na po tayong lahat. So, if you are still not a member of Team Skinner, magpa-member na po kayo. We currently are opening our Team Skinner Section B and we have promos, no? So if you know or if you'd want to learn about our promos, just send a message to our Facebook page. If you are watching us on Facebook right now, that's the same Facebook page where you will be sending your message. Now, we also have our full online majorship schedule. If you are a part of English, Math, Filipino, General Science, Social Science, MAPE, Values Education, and TLE, AFA, join us, send a message to our Facebook page. Orientation for your majorship will be on May 30th. Then, of course, diagnostic test would follow the following day, no? So May 14th. And you'll also have your mid-review, your pre-board, your final coaching, as well as your final recap. So again, just send us a message if you are still not a member of Team Skinner. That's for September of this year. Now, para mas tayo ay mas ganahan tayong mag-review at mag-aral, of course, we are giving you your monetary prizes dito sa Gurong Pinoy. If you are a member of Team Skinner and you end up being top 3, might be in B.Ed or BS.Ed, you will be receiving 100,000 pesos from Gurong Pinoy. Top 2, that's 200,000 pesos. And of course, if you are top 1, you will be receiving 300,000 pesos. Okay, so that's all cash from Gurong Pinoy. So pag tingin, mag-aral na mabuti, magsunog ng kilay. And of course, one way for you to prepare for your upcoming LET is by having movie marathons dyan po sa ating YouTube channel. There's so many videos, almost 1,000 videos that can help you pass your LET. And of course, join Team Skinner para dire-diretso yung ating panonood. And of course, you can join our online quiz. You can download our PDF files. PDF files are going to be posted after our discussion. Now, tonight, we will be talking about professional education, of course. Before we start with anything else, just like every night, let us all have our opening prayer. So, samahan niyo po ako mga kaguro. Dear Lord, I come to you to ask for your guidance and direction in this study session. I ask that the Holy Spirit fill me with strength, creativity, and understanding to get through my studies without difficulty or sin. Help me hold my focus and attention. Help me to retain all that I learned. Please make my mind sharp and keep distractions at bay. If any part of my studying is weak or lacking in some way, let it be revealed so that I may correct it. Thank you for this opportunity to learn. Amen. All right, now once again, this is Prof. Ed. Please do like, love, share our video, start a watch party, tag all of your friends. You can also show your support to Guru Pinoy by sending us stars on Facebook and super chat, super stickers naman po sa ating YouTube channel. Good evening sa inyong lahat. And of course, we will be starting in a few minutes. Make sure that you have liked, loved, and of course, shared our video. If you are watching through Team Skinner, no, next time po, pakiclick ng ating StreamYard na link para nakikita ko po yung inyong names at hindi lamang po Facebook user, yung aking mga nakikita. Team Bruner, waiting for positive result. Malapit na. Good luck to all our members ng Team Bruner. No? So, kakamiss, sabi nila yung boses ni Coach Meg. Malapit na po ang results ng Team Bruner. And of course, we are praying for the success of all the members, LPTs na very, very, very soon. All right, this is professional education. Like, love, share our video. Kung medyo blurry po, paki-change ng video quality. Kapag ka may captions, po pwede din pong i-off yung inyong captions. Alright, we start with question number 1. With the NCBTS as guide, an ideal learning environment should have the following characteristics. Exempt, letter A, builds many professional linkages. Letter B, the learning environment promotes fairness. Letter C, is safe and conducive for learning. Or letter D, it establishes and maintains consistent standards of learners' behavior. What is your choice? Please include the item number. So 1C, sabi ni Facebook user. A, paki-include po ng item number natin para hindi po tayo nako-confuse, no, kung para saang item yung inyong sagot. 1A, sabi ni Sir Kirby Tugonon. Okay, Ma'am Frialin Paraiso, 1A. Ma'am Rosales Pigaw Francisco or Sir Rosales Pigaw Francisco, A. Okay, I see a lot of letter A's. The correct choice here, no, is letter A. It builds many professional linkages. Bakit nga ba letter A yung ating pong sagot dito, no? So, sabi kasi ng ating question number 1, question number 1 is talking about ideal learning environment. This is focused on the learning environment as part of the 7 domains of your NCBTS. So, hindi po kasama yung building many professional linkages. Bakit hindi? Let's go to our next slide. So here, you see your teacher development map at sabi natin, no, the NCBTS is at the heart of the development of every teacher in the Philippines. That is prior to the PPST. No? Ngayon po, PPST na yung pinaka, kumbaga, batayan natin sa pagiging mabuting guro or mahusay na guro sa Pilipinas. Dati po, NCBTS. Okay? But you still are going to encounter a lot of NCBTS-based problems or based questions sa inyong pong licensure exam. Okay, so since the time that you enter the teacher education program in the CHED, no, or teacher education institution sa inyong pong colleges or inyong pong universities, kasama na po yan sa inyong paghahandaan as part of the NCBTS. Then you go to your pre-service training, yung tinatawag nating field study, no, as well as your practice teaching hanggang sa mag-review kayo sa Gurong Pinoy, hanggang sa makapasa po kayo, magkaroon kayo ng license, no, so teacher or licensed professional teachers na kayo, hanggang sa nagpapa-rank na kayo, no. So ayan, no, dito teacher human resource planning na, recruitment, etc. Hanggang sa kayo po ay ma-induct na, na-hire na, at na-induct na kayo sa DepEd, no? So karamihan sa atin gusto kasi talagang magturo sa public schools. Of course, it's also a way for us to give back to our community, no? Magturo sa mga public schools natin. And then you'll have your inset, no? So in-service training, you'll have your CPDs, continuous or continuing professional development until the day that you retire. All these ay sakop po ng inyong NCBTS. Okay? So NCBTS would rule all of the steps in your teacher development map, all right? Now, under your NCBTS framework, you actually have 7 domains, no? So, these are the different domains. Sabi kasi ng NCBTS, if you'd want to be a successful and to be an effective teacher, you should be well-rounded. Lahat dapat ito ay alam mo, lahat dapat ito ay more or less, ikaw ay eksperto, okay? So, unang-una, number 1, social regard for learning. Number 2, the learning environment. Ito yung question natin kanina. Number 3, diversity of learners. You have number 4, curriculum. Then you have number 5, planning, assessing, and reporting. Number 6, community linkages. And number 7, personal and professional growth. No? So yung letter A po natin kanina ay kasama sa inyong community linkages. Now let's take a look at the different domains in depth. No? So here, you have domain number 1, social regard for learning. Ito yung role ng mga teachers. No? Teachers, sabi dito, serve as positive and powerful role models of the values of the pursuit of learning and of the effort to learn. The teacher's actions, statements, and different types of social interactions with students exemplify this ideal. So sabi dito, hindi lamang sa pagtuturo mo inside the classroom, everything that you do in your society, in your community would affect your learners, okay? It would affect your learners, it would affect their idea of you as their model. Okay, so we as teachers are powerful role models or models for our students. Okay, so that's a social regard for learning. It's all about the roles, the influence of the teachers. Domain number 2, learning environment. Ito po yung ating kaninang question, no? Creates an environment that promotes fairness. Nasa choice natin to kanina. Makes the physical environment safe and good and conducive. Nasa choice natin kanina. Communicates higher learning expectations to each learner. And choice D kanina was establishes and maintains consistent standards of learners' behavior. So lahat ng ito kanina except for the third one, no, ito yung wala sa ating choices. Pinalitan siya ng choice A, no? But B, C, D are found here sa ating learning environment. So importante that your environment, your classroom has fairness to each type of student. And of course, it's safe, it is conducive, you are communicating higher learning expectations, no? And then of course, you maintain and establish consistent standards of learners' behavior. Okay, so that's learning environment. Now, for your domain number 3, diversity of learners, we all know that the types of learners that we'll have inside the classroom, hindi lamang iisang hulma, no? Iba-iba po sila kahit na magkakapareha sila ng grade level, kahit na magkakapareha sila ng section. Minsan, lahat sila star section, lahat sila special science class, iba-iba pa rin yung ating learners. No? So you have to be familiar with the different background and the different experiences that your learners have had. And of course, you have to be concerned with their holistic development. Hindi lamang cognition dapat yung inyo pong dinedevelop sa inyong students. You should also be teaching them the different skills, and of course, you should also be teaching them the different attitudes that they should have to become successful not only as learners but also as members of our society as a whole. Okay? Now, the fourth domain that we have here is curriculum. You have to be the master of your subject. You have to communicate clear learning goals that are appropriate for your learners. No? So dapat kayang-kayang abutin ng inyong mga students, no, kung ano man po yung inyo man pong tinuturo sa kanila. Then of course, you have to make good use of allotted instructional time. Hindi puro chika lamang. And you should select the different teaching methods, learning activities that are going to be aligned to your objectives. Okay, so you should be a master or the master of your subject. Hindi po pwedeng hindi mo alam ang iyong tinuturo. Kapag ka meron kang hindi alam, because of course no one is perfect, you should admit that you don't know it. No? So what you usually do is you tell the class, I'm sorry, I don't know about this, but I will make this my homework, or better yet, make this as a homework of everyone in the class so that by tomorrow we can discuss this. Okay? So po pwede pong gawin mong homework para sa buong klase. No? Batiin ko lamang yung mga members ng ating Team Brunner. No? Good evening! Nakakamiss ang ganitong senaryo. Sa mga sumali sa Gurong Pinoy, hindi po kayo magsisisi dahil 100% aalagaan kayo ni Coach Nek. Magaling na coach si Ma'am Nek. Team Brunner here. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Cheryl, Pip din. Malapit na maging LPT. No? Hello sa ating mga Team Brunner. Alright, now domain number 5, planning, assessing, and reporting. Ganun pa rin, no? Paulit-ulit, as you can see, no, yung strengths natin, merong mga strengths na halos pare-pareha. So here, communicate promptly, clearly to learners, parents, superiors about the progress of each learner. Develop and use the appropriate assessment strategies. Dapat cohesive yung inyong assessment sa inyong objective at sa inyong classroom activities. Then of course, you have to monitor regularly and provide feedback to your learners and also to the parents. Hindi po pwedeng hindi mo sasabihin na pa-fail na yung student, no? So dapat inaalagaan mo yung estudyante. Sinasabihan mo yung parent na medyo may problema tayo, itong topic na to, hindi niya masyadong kabisado, so kailangan niya magpaturo, po pwede siyang magpaiwan muna para ma-help ko siya, or po pwedeng magpa-tutor siya outside, no? Po pwede po yan. Hindi po pwedeng ma-shock na lamang yung parents na failed na yung student, no, sa ating klase. Okay, so whether it's good news or bad news, we have to give regular and consistent na feedback sa ating po mga parents. Remember, your parents are your partners. No? These are your partners in educating the students that you have. No? Those are the students that you are responsible of. Okay, now domain number 6, community linkages establishes learning environments that respond to the aspirations of the community. Your community and the school, of course, they are partners. So dapat po meron kayong mga linkages, no? So meron tayong PTCA, may Parent Teachers Community Association na hindi lamang yung school na nag-a-act on its own. Okay, so magkaramay yung community, yung parents, of course, all the stakeholders, and the school. Now, the last one, personal growth and professional development. Nandito pala yung ating A kanina, no? Although po pwede din siya sa ating community linkages. Strengths mo dito under personal growth and professional development, you have to take pride in the nobility of teaching. No? So, hindi ka po pwedeng magsabi na teacher lang ako, no? Teacher ako. You have to be proud and loud that you are a teacher because you are a superman or a superwoman. As a teacher, no, you juggle a lot of responsibilities. Okay, so hindi po pwedeng nahihiya tayo kapag tinatanong tayo at magsasabi tayong guro lamang tayo. We have to build professional links with colleagues to enrich teaching practice. No teacher is an island. You have to work with your neighbors sa inyong pong staff room, no, sa inyong classroom, no, sa inyong room. You have to work with your fellow teachers. Reflect on the extent of the attainment of learning goals. So it's very important that you are also reflecting on your teaching. No? Ano ba? Naging effective ba yung aking pagtuturo? Bakit ang baba ng scores ng aking mga estudyante? No? So lahat ng to, all these 7 domains dapat aware ka as a teacher. If you'd want to become a successful and an effective teacher, dapat aware ka sa lahat ng ito. And of course, this is not an easy feat, no? So, konti-konti naman, no? As a new teacher, as a newbie, masyado pong mahirap, no? Masyadong marami kang challenges na kakaharapin. But of course, as you grow older in the teaching profession, as you become an expert, na, as you continue your growth professionally and personally, you are all going to, of course, improve as a teacher. No? So yan naman po yung goal nating lahat. And so bawal pong ma-absent sa ating mga CPDs. Basta may CPDs, attend ka agad si teacher. Hindi lamang para sa promotion, but also of course for your growth as a person or your growth professionally para makatulong din sa inyong mga estudyante. Alright, so again, for number 1, our answer was letter A because building professional links would be part of domain number 7 and not domain number 4. No? So hindi po learning environment, but domain number 2, sorry, not learning environment, but it's part of your personal growth and professional development. All right, and so the correct choice there was letter A. Yes, I can see your chat po. Okay, so Facebook user is asking, does Coach Mex see our chats? Yes po, nakikita ko po yung inyong chat. Kapag medyo mahina po yung signal, pwede pong balikan, especially if you are a member of Team Skinner, nare-replay po na yung full video natin anytime. Kaya po maganda kapag online yung klase natin, kahit na umabsent ka, hindi pareha sa face-to-face na wala ka ng makukuha, no, sa lecture. Pero dito sa online class na babalikan po kahit kailan, no, kahit anytime, babalikan ninyo. Alright, we go to question number 2. Teacher Emily Luz sets achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with her learning competencies. What domain is addressed by the teacher? Would it be letter A, domain 2, letter B, domain 7, letter C, domain 5, or letter D, domain 4? Okay, so parehas lang po ito, no? This is still about your NCBTS. Ma'am Michelle Ortiz, magandang gabi Coach Mek, kakamiss po ang inyong voice. Mga kaguro, enroll na po kayo, di po kayo magsisisi, aalagaan po kayo ni Coach Mek hanggang the day of your exam. From Team Brunner here. Okay, so congratulations in advance, of course. And maraming salamat to all your positive feedbacks, all the members of Team Brunner, at sa mga dati pa nating teams, no? Team Pesce, Team Erickson, Gardner, Team Grow natin, yung Team Thunders natin, ngayon mga LPTs na, no? Number 2, letter D. Kayo na po ang next na LPT, sabi ni Sir Jim Viva from Team Piaget. Okay, thank you, Coach Mac. Maraming salamat, Sir Jim Viva, LPT na. Okay, number 2, letter D. I see a lot of letter D's. For number 2, domain number 4. Okay, sabi ng number 2 mo, sets achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with her learning competencies. We're talking about learning outcomes and competencies. So this would be under letter D, domain number 4. So again, if you remember your NCBTS, no? Domain 1, social regard for learning, about the role of the teacher. Domain number 2, the learning environment, physical environment mo. Domain number 3, diversity of learners. Domain number 4 is curriculum. So under po sa domain number 4 yung ating question dito. Learning outcomes, learning competencies would be under domain number 4. Number 5 is planning, assessing, and reporting. 6, community linkages. And 7, personal and professional growth. Huwag pong pumunta sa LET nang hindi kabisado yung ating NCBTS. And of course, yung ating PPST. Tonight is just the first time that we are talking about your professional education. So mahaba pa po yung ating lalakbayin at mahaba pong oras yung tayo magkakasama. So don't worry, no, makakabisado po natin ito paunti-unti. Alright, so number 2, letter D is tumpak. We go to question number 3. Here is a lesson objective. At the end of the lesson, the students must be able to develop a positive attitude towards work. Is this a SMART objective? Would it be letter A, partly? It is in the affective domain. Letter B, very much. It is specific. Letter C, not at all. Develop is a non-behavioral term. Or letter D, yes, if the word develop is replaced with create. What is our choice? For number 3, Sir Aldrin Bantilan. LPT na kami sa May 26, 2023. Sabi ni Ma'am Samiha Argayan, good evening Ma'am Mek, nakakamiss po ang boses nyo. Mga Team Skinner, hindi kayo magsisisi dito, napakagaling ni Ma'am Mek. Mag-discuss Team Brunner, Abangers, LPT soon. Okay, LPT very, very soon. Maraming salamat po. Alright, number 3, ICDs. Aha. Okay, so yung lesson objective mo, at the end of the lesson, the students must be able to develop a positive attitude towards work. Is this a SMART objective? Okay, so your verb here is the term develop, no? And of course, we are talking about positive attitude. So tama naman yung letter A mo na that this is in the affective domain. Remember, you have 3 domains, your cognitive, your psychomotor, and your affective domain, no? So letter A says partly, it is in the affective domain. Letter B, very much, it is specific. Letter C, not at all. Develop is a non-behavioral term. Letter D, yes, if the word develop is replaced with create. All right. Now, before we go to the correct choice, let's go back to the meaning of SMART. No, your objectives should be SMART. Your goals, your learning goals should be SMART. When you say SMART, then this means letter S, specific, letter M, measurable, then you have achievable for letter A, or attainable, po pwede din. R is relevant, so dapat nakaka-relate yung students mo sa inyo pong objective, no, sa inyong classroom activities. And of course, letter T, it should be time-bound. Kaya almost always na merong at the end of this session, at the end of this class, okay, at the end of this period. Now, by specific, of course, it should state what you'll do, no? So dapat may action words, okay? So it should be specific, dapat hindi siya vague, no? Hindi malawak yung kanyang sakop or hindi siya broad. Measurable, it should provide a way to evaluate. You should use metrics or data targets. It should be achievable, no? Dapat posible siya to accomplish. It is attainable. Abot siya ng kakayahan ng inyong estudyante. Relevant, makes sense. It improves your life, the life of your student in some way. And of course, time-bound, it should state that it should state when you'll get it done. It should be specific, no? May specific time frame siya. All right, now these are the different levels, no, sa ating pong affective domain, no. So sabi ng affective domain mo, it's all about emotional response, attitudes, values, appreciation, and you actually have 5 different levels now are RVOC. So you have receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. Alright, so receiving po yung pinakamababa dito, being willing to listen and being aware to receive knowledge. So when you are listening, that's just in the receiving level. Now, responding, you are already actively participating. Valuing, you find value and worth in what you do. Now, you are motivated to continue doing it. Then you have organization, you have the different values and you try to compare the different values. So saan kaya yung aking uunahin, saan dapat yung aking mga priorities, no? So that's organization. Then of course you have characterization, you value, these are values that will control the outcome and behavior. And these are some of the verbs that you can use in the different levels. So we have, at pansinin po ninyo, wala pong develop. Okay? Wala pong develop. And so the correct choice here is not at all. Develop is a non-behavioral term. You cannot easily see the term or the action develop mo, hindi mo siya makikita, especially since you are just saying at the end of the lesson. Okay? It might take several years before someone will develop a positive attitude towards work. Okay? So, letter C ang ating pong hinahanap dito. You also cannot say create a positive attitude towards work. No? Yung attitude is not created. Attitude is felt and attitude is, kumbaga, is something na isinasabuhay mo. No? You act out your attitude. Okay? So letter C ang ating pong hinahanap dito. Okay, we go to question number 4. Teacher Lil avoids drills out of context. She gives real-world math problems for students to drill on. Teacher Lil is very much convinced of which principle of learning. Letter A, effective learning begins with setting clear expectations and learning outcomes. Letter B, learning is a cooperative and a collaborative process. Letter C, learning is an active process. Or letter D, learning is the discovery of the personal meaning and ideas. What is our choice? Okay, what's your choice? Number 4. Ma'am Jodeline Martinez. Hello, Mamek. Napakaswerte ko po dahil ikaw po naging coach ko. Napadali ang pag-a-analyze sa mga question, lalo na sa Prof Ed. Dahil po sa mga tips na tinuro nyo. Ngayon pa lang po ay nagpapasalamat na ako. God bless po. Manifesting LPT this May 2023. Okay, congratulations po. Of course, I'd always say, no, before you go out of your testing room, feel nyo, no, di ba? Nararamdaman nyo na kayo ay pasado na. Okay, so alam naman natin na pasado na tayo. And so we are manifesting very, very soon. Team Brunner members would all become LPTs. Ma'am Emeline Manaro, good evening everyone. Hello po Ma'am Met from your former team Piaget, October 2022 LPT. Di po ako magsasawa sa mga videos niyo po. God bless po. Maraming salamat Ma'am Emeline Manaro. Thank you po. Ma'am Emeline. Okay, 4, I see a lot of letter D's, no? So, sabi dito sa number 4 mo, si Teacher Lil, hindi siya nagbibigay ng mga context or mga drills na out of context. Wala sa konteksto. When you say context, ano ba yung mundong kinagagalawan ng inyong estudyante, no? So, she gives real-world math problems for students to drill on. She is very much convinced of which principle of learning, okay? And so before we go to our answer, let's take a look at the 10 different principles of learning according to Horn and Pine in 1990. Okay, so these are the different principles of learning according to Horn and Pine. Una-una, learning is an experience. No? So this is an experience that occurs inside the learner. And so it is also activated by the learner. When you say that a certain person has learned, it is because he or she has experienced something. Na-learn mo ito dahil na-experience mo. Di ba? So may pagbabago na nangyari sa loob mo, no? Sa kaibuturan mo. That's the first principle. The second principle, learning is a discovery of the personal meaning and relevance of ideas, no? So kapag ka nagli-learn ka ng isang bagay, ito ay nali-learn mo dahil merong meaning, merong kahulugan sa iyo personally, and of course, merong halaga, no? There's relevance, nakakaapekto siya sa inyong buhay, no? That's the meaning of the second principle. The third one, learning is a consequence of experience. Halos magkapareha sila ng first one. Remember, learning is a change in behavior. This is according to your behaviorist. No? So yan po yung sinasabi ng ating third principle. Fourth one, learning is a cooperative and collaborative process. Cooperation fosters learning. So if you are a teacher, you should also be advocating group work, body work, no, or pair work. Hindi po pwedeng in isolation yung students mo all of the time. No? So po pwedeng group work for now, bukas wala ng group work or may pair work. No? So you have to use a variety of techniques, a variety of strategies inside your classroom, and make sure that you are using cooperation and collaboration because they can promote learning. Okay, next one. Learning is an evolutionary process. It takes time for someone to learn, no? And sabi din ng ating next principle, learning is sometimes a painful process. Di ba? Ikaw ay natuto, hindi ka na nag-choose ng ganitong tao, ng ganitong klaseng jojowain kasi nga nasaktan ka na ng nakaraan. Aray, no? Ang sakit, may tinamaan. Alright? So sometimes it is a painful process. And it is an evolutionary process. It takes time. So do not be frustrated kung hindi nagigets ng inyong estudyante at once kung anong pinapaliwanag mo sa kanila kahit dito, no, paulit-ulit kayong maliligwak. Okay? So paulit-ulit din tayo mag-e-explain. Hindi ako magsasawang mag-e-explain sa inyo because of course, learning is an evolutionary process. Paulit-ulit hanggang mag-sink in, hanggang sa ma-internalize nyo na lahat ng concepts natin, especially sa Prof Ed. Okay? One of the richest resources of learning is the learner himself. No? So dati, learning was one way. The source of all the information is just the teacher. But now, with the progressivist point of view, we know that as teachers, we can also learn from our learners, and the learners would also learn from each other. No? So it is one of the richest resources. Your learner is one of the richest resources of information or of learning. The process of learning is both emotional and intellectual. And so it's very important that while you learn, you're also having fun. So, kaya tayo dito in Gurong Pinoy, we try to make jokes, we try to make your learning enjoyable. No? Because of course, that would make your learning more meaningful. Hindi lamang kasi intellectual yung learning, it is also emotional so that you look forward to our next session. Di ba? The process of problem solving and learning are highly unique and individual. Everyone is unique, no? So, iba-iba yung pagproseso ng inyong mga estudyante, ng konsepto, or pag-solve nila ng mga problema, your problem solving, iba-iba din, no? So, depende kung ano yung process nila. But as long as you foster their growth, you foster their learning, nandiyan ka lang nakasuporta, nakagive ng scaffold, no? Mag-i-improve at mag-i-improve yung inyong mga estudyante. And lastly, learning is a process of actively constructing knowledge. Learning is constructive. You should not be spoon-feeding your students. No? So dapat hindi ka bigay ng information, hindi ka nag-split, hindi ka nagtatumbling dyan, no? Kasi at the end of the day, wala ka ng boses, no? Ikaw yung namaos, ikaw yung napagod, bagsak si teacher, no? At the end of the day. So dapat your students should be actively engaged, and your students should be given the different activities so that they can form their own meaning, no? So they can construct their own structures, they can construct their own meaning of the different concepts that you are teaching them. All right? So going back to our question here, sabi ng question mo, hindi siya nagbibigay ng drills na out of context, palagi real world math problems na binibigay niya sa kanyang estudyante. And so this is letter D. Now, learning is the discovery of the personal meaning and idea, something that the students can relate to and something that the students can understand because it is relatable, because it is not out of context, because it is based on their real life, on their real world. Okay, so letter D for question number 4. Okay, hindi po setting clear expectations kasi hindi naman siya nagbigay ng objectives, no? Hindi yan yung sinasabi sa ating number 4. Lahat ng to, A, B, C, D, lahat ng ito tama, no? Lahat ito principles of learning, but we are looking for the answer based on our question, no, sa sitwasyon sa ating question. Okay, so letter D is tumpak. We go to question number 5. If a child was raised by authoritative parents, how most likely will he or she behave in class? Would it be letter A, quarrels often with classmates? Letter B, is suspicious of others? Letter C, relates well to class? Or letter D, has low level of independence? What is our choice for number 5? Ma'am Eileen Felican or Felicen. Good evening po. Nakakamiss. Makinig sa discussion. LPT very, very soon from Team Brunner. Sir Glenn Leng. Good evening, Ma'am Mac. Na-miss ko voice mo. Habang nag-duty ako, makikinig ulit ako sa iyo. Manifesting LPT this May through Gurong Pinoy. Daming lumabas sa exam. Team Brunner. Okay, blessed to be a member of Team Brunner, sabi ni Sir Glenn. Thank you po. Okay, number 5, I see C's. Tama kaya ang letter C for question number 5? Letter C or letter D? Si Ma'am Noraiza Mariga, LPT na si Ma'am. Team Piache, nakakamiss makinig ng review. Ang ganda ng boses at sobrang galing pa. Thank you po, Ma'am Noraiza. And of course, assalamualaikum sa lahat ng ating mga Muslim brothers and sisters. Okay, so if a child was raised by authoritative parents, how will she or he most likely behave in class, no? So, pansinin niyo po, no, lahat ng ating choices dito, yung A mo, quarrels often with classmates, suspicious of others, at letter D mo, A, B, at D are all negative, no? So, process of elimination or odd one out, the correct choice here would be letter C, relates well to class. Siya lang po yung positive, no? Siya lang po yung positive. Now, before we go or even by not looking at the different choices, bakit ba letter C yung ating sagot, no? What are the different types of parenting, no? So these are your parenting styles: authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and involved, no? So do not be confused with authoritarian and authoritative. Out of the two, si authoritarian po yung mali, no? So I'd always say bad si Arian, okay? So bad si Arian, authoritarian is bad, authoritative is good, no? So they are the same and they are different, no? So bakit sila the same? Parehas po yung authoritarian and authoritative in the fact na parehas silang may high level of expectations. Malaki or mataas ang expectation ng parents from their kid or ng teachers from their students, no? So authoritarian, authoritative, parehas po na mataas yung level of expectations. Yung pagkakaiba lamang, si authoritative po ay supportive, okay? So it creates positive relationship, although there's a lot of rules to follow dahil nga mataas yung expectation ni parent or ni teacher, it also creates positive relationship because the parent here is supportive. Okay, so supportive siya, loving, caring sa kanyang anak at although malaki or mataas yung kanyang expectation. Sa authoritarian mo naman, it's punishment over discipline. No? Focus is on obedience. Mataas yung expectation at walang support. No? So you have to just follow my rules. I don't care. Okay, follow my rules. Walang suporta, pero malakas or mataas yung expectation. Now, your permissive and uninvolved are also the same and are different. Okay? So, parehas naman po yung permissive and uninvolved mo na walang mataas na expectation. Mababa lang yung expectation. Hindi ko ine-expect na maging honor students ka. Hindi ko tinitingnan yung grades mo. Okay? So, yan yung permissive at uninvolved. Kaya lang yung pagkakaiba naman, yung permissive mo is giving, no, doting. Kumbaga, ito yung type of parenting na gawa ng spoiled brat, no? So, this type of parent does not enforce rules and would always just say kids will be kids. Okay? So, there's a lot of support. I'll give you everything, no? Kontrolado pa minsan ng anak yung parent dito, no? Because the parent is permissive, no? Sige lang anak, kahit anong gusto mong gawin, gawin mo lang, no? Walang rules na fina-follow. Yung uninvolved naman, wala nang expectation, wala pang pakialam. Okay? So, this provides little guidance, no nurturing, no attention. These are the parents that we call detached parents. Okay? So, detached sila, uninvolved, neglectful na mga parents, na mga walang pakialam. Okay? So, that's your uninvolved parenting. And so, the correct choice there would be your letter C, no? Kasi we are looking for authoritative, or we are looking at authoritative parents. They would have high expectations, but they are very supportive parents. So, as parents, if you are a parent myself, you should also be an authoritative parent. Now, you should be expecting a lot from your kids, but you should also be giving them a lot of love, attention, and support. Okay? So, balance lang, no? Yung inyong authoritative parents. So, your kids should be able to relate well to the class. All right? So, that's number 5, letter C. We go to number 6. Which parenting style or styles contributes to the development of children who have low level of responsibility? Letter A, authoritarian. Letter B, authoritative. Letter C, neglecting and permissive. Or letter D, permissive. Ayan, kahit sa Team Skinner, tama yan, Sir JR, no? Not authoritarian, sorry, authoritative din. So, high expectations, but a lot of support. Okay, what's your choice for number 6? What type of parenting style or styles would lead to the development of children who have low level of responsibility? Hindi responsable yung mga anak, walang pakialam, no? Kapag nagbihis, diyan na lang itatapon yung damit. Okay, kapag kumain, iiwanan na lamang yung plato nila. Okay, so what type of parents would this be? Okay. What is your choice? I see a lot of letter C's and that is correct. No? Neglecting and permissive. Remember, neglecting, wala kang pakialam, no? Detached ka, walang support, walang warmth, wala ding rules, no? Walang expectations. Permissive, you are very loving, very warm towards your kids, pero you don't have any rules for them to follow. You just let them be. Sige lang anak, ako lang yung maglilinis, no? Kung yung pinagkainan mo, kung ano yung dumi mo dito, na ako lang maglilinis. Okay? Pinapabayaan, hinahayaan. Sabi ni Sir Kevin, tama po yan. Okay? So letter C ang ating pong tumpak na choice. Okay? So parenting styles that would contribute to children having low level of responsibility. Letter C, neglecting and permissive. We go to question number 7. A 14-year-old felt ignored by her crush, whom she believes is her one true love. She is crying incessantly and refuses to listen and accept sound advice that the teacher is offering. Her refusal to accept is because teenagers never listen to adult advice. Letter B, 14-year-olds are not yet capable of perspective taking and cannot take the teacher's perspective. Letter C, the teacher's favorite word is no, and she will simply reject everything the teacher says. Or letter D, she thinks what she feels is too special and unique that no one felt like this before. Okay, what's your choice? Number 7? Ano po ang ating choice for number 7? Facebook user, bakit po nakat yung video? Kasi po nanood kayo sa Gurong Pinoy na page, ma'am or sir, no? Dito po kayo manood sa Team Skinner. Okay? So, Team Skinner po, dire-diretso yung ating panonood. Okay, 7 ICDs. Alright, so sabi ng ating video dyan, enjoy the full video, download our materials, join Team Skinner by sending a message to Gurong Pinoy's FB page. If you're watching us on Facebook right now, you can send a message there. You don't really need to download the video kasi nababalikan nyo po ito. Okay, 7, letter D. All right, let's take a look at our discussion. So we have what we call adolescent egocentrism, and this was by David L. Kind. No? So adolescent egocentrism, the adolescents, our teenagers, would believe that they are more socially significant than they actually are. No? They are egocentric, they are self-centered, kumbaga. No? They are focused on themselves more than the others. And so minsan kapag ka meron tayong teenage na sons or daughters, hindi na masyadong nakikinig sa atin, no? Medyo weird sila, no? Medyo hindi mo maintindihan minsan, no? Yung kanilang actions. Now, aside from this, aside from adolescent egocentrism, we also have three other types of teenager characteristics here. The next one will be personal fable. Personal fable, this is the belief that they are unique. Okay, so my thoughts and feelings have not happened to anyone else. It is difficult to see another person's perspective, no? So they feel that sila lamang yung nagsasakripisyo ng ganito, sila lamang yung may problemang ganito. Kaya pansinin nyo, no? Marami or karamihan sa mga suicidal tendencies or suicidal cases sa ating bansa, usually may mga teenagers, di ba? So sometimes they feel na grabing pasakit na to, hindi ko na kaya, ako lamang yung binigyan ng ganitong kalalang problema, no? So they sometimes feel that they are unique, they're the only ones who have experienced certain problems. So this is personal fable. Invincibility fable, I will not be hurt, no? So smoking, drugs, STDs, high-speed driving, they think it does not apply, or these do not apply to all to them, no? So feeling nila hindi sila mamamatay, hindi sila magkakaroon ng STD, hindi sila didisgrasya, no? Because they have this feeling of invincibility. I can do everything, no? I can live at my will, no? You only live once, sabi nila, YOLO. Imaginary audience, they feel that everyone is watching them. Okay, so this sometimes would make them feel self-conscious. Okay, so napapansin nyo, merong mga junakis tayo minsan na nakaslouch, no? Because sometimes they feel that they're too tall, for example, or sometimes they feel na lahat ng tao nakatingin sa kanila. They're very self-conscious. Okay, so going back to our question, the correct choice here is letter D. Tama po, no? She thinks what she feels is too special or unique that no one felt like this before. Okay? So, ito po yung ating hinahanap kanina, no? Now, this is what we call your personal fables. Letter D for number 7. We go to question number 8. Science teacher Rita showed her class a glass of water with an egg in it. She asked the class, what happens to the egg if I add 3 tablespoons salt to the glass of water? This is hypothesis formulation. What can you infer about the cognitive developmental stage of teacher Rita's class? Would it be letter A, concrete operational stage, letter B, formal operational stage, letter C, pre-operational stage, or letter D, between concrete and formal operational stage? Okay, what's your choice? Sabi ni Ate Ying, kanina po ma'am sa quiz, nahirapan po ako, hindi ko po makita yung ibang choices. Okay, there might be something wrong with your internet connection, ma'am, or hindi ko po alam na baka sa device, you might have to restart your device. Okay, so i-restart po next time, ma'am. Let's try to check or hanap po na mas mabuting signal. Okay, I see. A's or C's? Okay, letter A. Kanimi ang choice niyo, letter A. Alright, so going back to number 8, sabi ni Teacher Rita, this is a glass of water with an egg in it. Ano kaya mangyayari if I add 3 tablespoons of salt, okay, the glass of water? So this actually is hypothesis formulation. So nasa anong cognitive developmental stage kaya? Okay, yung class ni Teacher Rita, alright? Now, remember, these are all part of Piaget's stages of cognitive developmental, no? Cognitive developmental stages, cognitive development theory of Jean Piaget, no? So, here you have 4 different stages: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational, no? So, smart people cook fish. That would be your mnemonics, no? Smart people cook fish. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Let's take a look at the different stages, no, in depth. All right, so sensory motor stage, this is from birth to 2 years. According to Piaget, the sensory motor stage of development is a child's first stage of development. This lasts until 2 years old. The newborn does not have a well-developed brain, particularly in the frontal cortex. Therefore, the child must develop an understanding of the world through the different senses. Now, so you call this sensory motor from 2 words: senses, the use of senses, and motor skills. No? So motor skills. These are the different substages. So una, basic reflexes. From 0 to 1 month, you can see different reflexes from your child. No? Na meron kang moro reflex, yung minsan ay nagugulat sila, no? So nagsistretch sila, and then they curl up, no? Yung mga yawning nila, yung paghatching, pag-cough, no? These are our reflexes. These are innate, no? Innate skills that we have. Kumbaga, walang nagturo. Alam mo na, nung ikaw ay pinanganak, alam mo na yung mga actions na to. No? These are innate actions. So you call this your reflexes. Primary circulation reaction, these are just still your reflexes, non-reflexes. Secondary circulation reaction, coordination of secondary circulation reaction. Then you have tertiary representational thought. The pinakabuod dito ng sensory motor stage mo, ginagamit ng bata or ginagamit ng anak mo yung senses niya, and also the child is developing the motor skills. Now, kaya sa crib ng anak mo, meron ka mga nakasabit na mga colorful, na mga bagay-bagay, na may sounds, may different textures, may mga pinapahawakan ka sa kanila na kung anik-anik, basta hindi lang po maliit na naisusubo ng bata, because the child learns about his or her environment through the use of her senses. And also, the child is trying to develop the motor skills. Okay, so that's under sensory motor, no? And the milestone, yung pinaka-milestone dito nung anak nyo would be your object permanence. No? Alam na niya kahit na wala sa harap niya or kahit na tinakpan mo yung bola ng blanket, andyan lang din sa ilalim ng blanket yung bola. No? Object permanence po yung tawag dyan. Alright, now the second stage, pre-operational. Here, you have symbolic function and you also have intuitive thought. Yung symbolic function mo, this is the rapid development of language skills and symbolic thought. And also egocentrism. No? Napaka-wild ng imagination ng anak natin from 2 to 7 years old. Nagpapanggap na siya si Darna or siya si Superman, si Spider-Man. And of course, meron din siyang egocentrism, napaka-selfish niya. No? Gusto niya siya lang yung masusunod, siya lagi yung bigyan ng ganito, ganyan. Okay? So that's symbolic function and egocentrism. Intuitive thought, children experience strong growth in their logical thinking skills. They move beyond perception into intuitive thinking. So again, we've mentioned symbolic thought and egocentrism. Animism, iniisip ng mga bata, at this stage, no, iniisip nila na lahat ng bagay sa palibot nila ay may buhay. Okay? So minsan kapag na bump niya, no, or nasaktan siya ng door, ay hinahampas din niya ng door. Yung door, na gusto din niyang saktan yung door. Feeling niya may buhay din yung door, no? May buhay din kung yung dingding or yung kung ano man na nasa palibot niya. Conservation, wala pa masyadong conservation yung bata dito. nasa centration stage pa lamang siya. At the latter part pa yung conservation sa pre-operational stage, no? Papunta na sa inyong concrete operational. Centration, nakabase lamang yung bata sa isang aspeto ng isang bagay. So, kung meron kang glass of water na may 2 glasses of water ka, for example, na may 100 ml, 100 ml, tapos yung isa ay yung isang contents ng isang glass nilipat mo sa taller and narrower glass at tinanong mo yung bata saan yung mas may maraming tubig, sasabihin ng bata nasa taller and narrower glass kasi nga nakasentro lamang siya sa isang aspeto ng bagay, no, doon lamang sa height ng baso. Okay, reversibility, hindi pa po. No? So towards the end pa yung reversibility and conservation. We'll get to that later. Okay, now we go to your concrete operational. You have seriation. Ang seriation po, the child can already form series. Okay, so nakaka-arrange na siya ng objects from smallest to biggest, from shortest to longest, no? Meron na siyang series. Reversibility, alam na nung bata na subtraction is the opposite of addition. Okay, nakakapag-subtract na siya. Classification, nagugrupo na niya yung mga bagay-bagay based on colors, based on sizes, based on shapes. Conservation, this is the opposite of centration. No? So, conservation, alam na niya na kahit nilipat sa taller, narrower glass, 100 ml pa rin yung laman ng taller, narrower glass. And so, if you'd ask the child which glass would have more content or more water, the child would say equal lamang, di ba? Na-conserve yung amount of water, the volume of water did not change, okay? Kahit na nilipat mo siya into taller, narrower glass. Transivity, it's transition, no? So, kahit na nirolyo mo yung clay, pwede mo pa rin siyang i-flatten, no? Pwede mong pabalik-balikin sa kanilang original na shape. Overcoming egocentrism, that's also during concrete operational stage. Hindi na siya masyadong selfish, okay? The child can already start to see other people's perspectives. And of course, you have formal operational. This is the fourth and final stage from ages 11 and up, no? So may abstract thinking, may scientific reasoning, moral reasoning, critical analysis, perspective taking, and continual language development. Okay? Mas malayo na yung abot ng kanyang cognition, no? Yung abot ng mental capacity ng bata. And so kung napapansin nyo, there's scientific reasoning. And so going back to our question, the correct choice here would be letter B, formal operational stage po tayo, okay? So formal operational stage would be the correct choice. Okay, merong comment dito si Ma'am Jel Fermento. Kung naka-open po kayo sa Chrome, click nyo lang po yung 3 dots sa right, then click also the desktop side para ma-view nyo po lahat. Okay, so limited yata kasi naka-mobile format kayo. Okay, so letter B for number 8, Ligwak. Okay lang po yan, Sir Roms Bantilyan. Facebook user, walang dumating na email. Make sure po that you have completed the Google form. Okay? So, Google form po, kompletuhin nyo po dahil dyan po kinukuha yung inyong email. Alright, number 9. Which teaching practice gives primary consideration to individual differences? Would it be letter A, allowing children to show that they learn the stages of mitosis in a way where they feel most comfortable? Letter B, allowing children to show that they learn the stages of mitosis in a way where they feel most comfortable except by lecturing. Letter C, applying 2 sets of different standards. Letter D, preparing 2 different sets of examination, one for the fast learners and another for the slow learners. What's your choice? For number 9. Ma'am Claire Somoso, ma-view po ba yung mga incorrect? Ito na po. Itutuloy. Okay, Ilongga. Ito na po. Kaya po tayo nagdi-discuss para malaman po ninyo kung saan kayo naligwa. Okay, number 9, ICAs. Letter A, we're talking about individual differences. All your students are different, diba? Each student is unique. Each student is an individual. Kahit na twins pa po sila, hindi po sila magkaparehas na magkaparehas. Okay? So which one gives primary consideration to individual differences? The correct choice is letter A. Okay? So allow them to present their work in a way that they are most comfortable. Okay? So letter A for question number 9. Hindi po pwedeng letter B kasi may exception pa. Hindi po pwedeng letter C kasi magkaiba yung standards mo. Dapat iisa lang yung standards, but it should be catered, no, to the different types of students that you have. Letter D, hindi din, because we are talking about assessment at you gave two different sets of examination. But the right choice here is letter A. No? Letter D mo, you have fast learners, slow learners. Paano naman yung mga average? Okay, do not forget no, the average. Andiyan pa rin yung average. Alright, so number 9, letter A is tumpak. Inclusivity. Tama yan, Ma'am Bing. Okay, we go to number 10. Which of the following demonstrates differentiated instruction? Halos magkapareha sila na number 9. The teacher groups the learners by ability levels and assigns each group a different task on the same topic and then requests 3 different teachers each to assess one of the groups. Letter B, the teacher groups the learners by their ability level and makes the groups work with the same topic but assigns a different task appropriate for each group to accomplish. Letter C, the teacher divides the class into 3 heterogeneous groups and assigns the same activity for each group to work on. Or letter D, the teacher groups the learners by their ability level and assigns different content topics for the groups to work on. Okay, what is your choice? We're talking about differentiated instruction. I see a lot of letter B's. Okay, now remember the meaning of heterogeneous, no, as opposed to your homogeneous. Pag sinabi mong homogeneous, iisa lamang yung kakayahan ng inyong mga estudyante. Pag sinabi mong heterogeneous, iba-iba yung levels nila. Okay? And so the correct choice here is letter B. Tama yung letter B mo, no? You group them according to their ability, the same topic, but you assign different tasks na kaya ng kada grupo. Okay? So, that is inclusive and that is within the level of your students. Alright? So, hindi po pwedeng letter A, gumamit ka ng 3 guro, iba-iba yung mag-a-assess sa kanila. Letter C naman, pare-parehas yung activity kahit na meron kang 3 grupo na hindi din magkakaparehas yung kanilang ability, no? So, samot-sari din yung members ng isang group. Letter D naman, iba-iba yung content topics na binigay mo sa kanila. So, hindi po pwede. Dapat parehas yung standard, parehas yung topiko, pero iba-iba yung activities nila base sa kanilang kakayahan. Okay? So, that's differentiated instruction. We go to number 11, which statement on student diversity is correct? Teachers should accept and value diversity. Letter B, teachers must do his or her best to reduce student diversity in class. Letter C, the less diversity of students in class, the better for teacher and students. Letter D, student diversity is purely due to students' varied cultures. Okay, what is our choice?